don't know how she goes. I'm about to daddy when I get a baby.
Hey Soul Vibers, this is Sierra from Soul Vibin TV. Today we're in the studio with local Tacoma, Washington artist Blakk Soul. Okay, so tell us a bit about yourself.
Well, my name is Blakk Soul. I hail from the east side of Tacoma, and I'm a R&B neo-soul artist.
Wonderful. So what's your background in music? How did you get started?
Like most black folks, I came up singing in the church. Mom definitely made it a point to put me in as many choirs as possible. At the time, I wasn't really interested in music, though. A lot of it was just from, you gonna get out there, you gonna sing for the Lord.
Right.
And you know, it was actually a horrific experience for me. The very first time I got up there with the choir, we were new to the church, and I had never sang with the choir. I didn't even know if I really wanted to sing like that. Like, I'd sing around the house, but that was about it.
Right.
So Mom pushes me up to the front and gets me up there to sing with the group, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure they practice this because I don't even know the words of the song.
Right.
And all the eyes are on me, and I just start crying. You know, mind you, I'm only like 6, but something about it afterwards is like, even though it was a horrific first experience for me, seeing everybody up there polished and then knowing the words and all the harmonies coming together is something that interested me, and it never left.
Right. So, starting in church, what are some of your biggest influences in music?
There actually weren't gospel artists at the time. As I grew older, a lot of my influences were some old school artists like Marvin Gaye. Big fan of Bilal, Music Soul Child, D'Angelo, like a lot of the old school groups like Jodeci, H-Town. So I think you hear a lot of everything kind of infused into my music.
Absolutely. So who are some big name artists that you've worked with so far?
So far, I've had the opportunity to work with not just artists, also the producers. The Business was the first people that I got a chance to work with. They produced several records for everybody from Robin Thicke to Chris Brown. Rapper Big Pooh, from formerly of the group Little Brother. I've had extensive work with him. We've done about 4 or 5 albums together now, where we've collaborated on singles or whatnot. And we most recently did a full Christmas EP called Holiday Juki. Jake won more recently. He's another big producer who's been in the game and produced for everybody.
Right.
All of it's really been a blessing. It all kind of came sporadically and spontaneously, but we've developed some pretty tight relationships and everything.
So being that you are an independent R&B artist, what are some things that you've done to keep yourself afloat, and what are things that you do now to keep yourself going?
I think a big part of being an independent artist is not being afraid of the grunt work. Like, I have to get out there and put on several hats, because I don't have the support of a major label budget. So I have to kind of use what I have within my means. So oftentimes it'll take me, like, I eventually learned how to mix and engineer my own music. I have to get out there and promote and use the social network as a big tool to be able to get my music out there to people. And it's almost like you have to be a bug. You really got to nag people, especially when you don't have the abundance of a big label PR firm marketing for you, speaking on your behalf. You kind of have to give people a reason to want to listen to your stuff. Oftentimes when you're speaking for yourself, it's like, oh, okay, well, why should we listen to you? Of course you're going to think you're good. And trying to make people believe, or getting out there and doing these open mics really helped build my buzz. Because it's kind of an informal situation where you get a chance to showcase your talent in front of people that most of the time don't know you. So they're going to give you a real honest response, and that's really what helps you build. I feel like getting an honest response from people is how you grow, depending on how you take it. So I use it as a learning tool and a tool for growth. So yeah.
Awesome. So what do you feel about the state of R&B now? I understand that your music is very reminiscent of artists, like you said, like D'Angelo, Music Soul Child, things of that nature. So how do you feel that your music fits in with how R&B is today, just mainstream?
I think it doesn't necessarily fit the type of R&B that's being made today. I do feel like it's a needed element, a missing element from what used to be. people don't sing about love anymore, man. And I just feel like not even just so much love, but about real life events. I feel like marketable music is relatable music, and not everybody sells dope. Or not everybody's making music just to go pick up, you know, the local ratchet. Like some people want to make music that has a meaning, that people, topics that people care about, and that's what I feel like I'm bringing to the game. I talk about everything from love, lack thereof, worldly issues, like everything that's going on that affects us as a culture.
Amazing. So that was definitely going to be my next question. What sets you apart from other artists? Why should people listen to you?
Right.
And so I believe you touched on that. If you want to say anything else on that?
Nah, that's it. Yeah, I feel like we have a duty as artists to impact the culture in a positive way and to do our best to move it forward. Mind you, there's a time and a place for everything, but I feel like we should never lose sight that the music with some substance, the music with some content to move the culture forward should always be at the forefront.
Absolutely. So what is some advice that you would give to young artists out there that are independent, aspiring to, you know, to take their career to the next level?
Man, the biggest thing I can tell people, patience. Patience is really a virtue, because as much as you want things to happen overnight, it's never going to be that way. Oftentimes people, they get this misconception that by the time they see these artists in full-blown, you know, visual videos and TV and whatnot, that it's like an overnight success. Backstory for a lot of these artists, they've been grinding it out for, you know, anywhere from 10 to 15 years prior to. It just takes a lot of work, a lot of diligence, a lot of late nights, a lot of sacrifices. You want to always be able to get the fresh Jordans you want.
Right.
You want to be able to hit every party on every Friday, Saturday night. It's going to take a lot of groundwork and a lot of grunt work in the studio, knocking out some good stuff and being able to get out there and campaign it to the people. So, man, patience and hard work and a whole unrealistic amount of faith, in my opinion. Because you never know how everything's going to come together. But you always want to be ready when it does.
Always be ready.
Always
Great
be ready.
advice. So in the next, say, 5 years or so, where do you see yourself as an artist? Like, who do you see yourself working with? Where would you like to be?
Man, that's an interesting question. I definitely see myself maintaining the relationships of the people that I'm working with already. I'd actually love to do some work with like a BJ the Chicago kid. I feel like we both coming from like soulful backgrounds would make something dope, because I'm also a fan of his music. He definitely has a lot of content-filled stuff. I like to do more duets. I know a lot of days, especially in today's R&B, you don't hear any duets at all. And like, I mean, here and there, few and far in between, but never like really like main singles as duets. So that was something I'd like to get more into in the future. Like I just released a single called So Good, which was like my first duet, and like loved it. Like I had a good time. It just gives it a different element when you have those collaboration of male and female voices.
So what's coming up next for Blakk Soul? What can we expect next out of you?
Next out of me is gonna be my R&B tape, which is currently untitled. So Good, the single that I just released, is gonna be a stint from that. Finishing up feature work for rapper Big Q's projects. One, he's finally set a release date. It's gonna be Words Paint Pictures, that drops on March 24th, that I'm gonna be a part of. I was a part of the song called How I Move.
Awesome.
Started on my first full-length album with the producer Apollo Brown with Mellow Music Group. We've already begun work on that, and that's something set tentatively for early 2016. And just continuing to get my visual presence out there.
Awesome. Is there anything else that you want our viewers to know about you as an artist, as a person?
I'm not as serious as I always seem with people. I feel like people that don't really know me personally, because of my approach to music, they think that I'm a lot more serious person than I am. I definitely joke around a lot. And don't be afraid to come up and say hello. You know, I'm not one of those egotistical field guys. Like I really appreciate all the love and support from people. It gives me energy to go and keep doing what I'm doing.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you for having me.
All right.
This is Blakk Soul, and I'm live and direct at soulvibin.com. You can find all of my music links, my SoundCloud, my current albums, all at my website, blacksoulmusic.com. That's BLAKK, soul music spelled the regular way. Instagram, Twitter, it's all in the one-stop shop. Soulvibin.com.